Mr. Mick Hucknall live in the Gouden Uren. The great song is that.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah?
I was just wondering, do you have these clubs that we used to have in the north of England called working men's clubs?
I don't know.
Because that's where I first sort of heard that song. I used to be a waiter
as a little boy
in a working men's club when I was about 14.
Okay.
And I lied about my age. I told them I was 18, but I was 14. And I was there for 3 years.
Yeah.
And it's like a working men's club where they have miners, factory workers, and they all gather and have social events in these clubs, drink lots of beer and everything. And they have shows on at the weekends, and they call them turns. And so you have a crooning guy on, and he would sing all these kind of songs like, Sinatra and Elvis and Perry Como, and that's where I learned the song.
Yeah. It's a great crooner, Perry Como.
Yeah, he's
It's
wonderful.
great
it's
song.
not really American soul, actually, but I just figured it was a bit of nostalgia on my part because I love the song so much.
Yeah, it's a great honor to have you with us this morning, Mr.
Thank
Hucknall.
you. Pleasure to be here.
And first,
forgive me, I've got a cold, unfortunately, but I do the best I can.
Didn't hear anything.
Oh, good. Good.
First compliments are also for the new record, American Soul. Your second soul album, right?
Yeah.
And again, a collection of great songs. How did you select the songs, anyway?
Well, it's a bit of fun, really, this. I started writing original material and went into the studio in the beginning of 2011. And at the same time, in between recording sessions, I was invited by various musicians to go and do gigs with them. So the first one I got invited to was a thing with Bill Wyman in his Rhythm Kings, and we actually performed here in Amsterdam. I did a couple of R&B songs with him. I think one of them was Knock on Wood, and another song by Lowell Fulson. And then I was invited a couple of months later, I was invited by Ronnie Wood to replace Rod Stewart in The Faces, which was completely insane, and that was when I first sang the song I'd Rather Go Blind.
Yeah, and with Charlie Watts also.
And after that I was invited by Charlie. And the point was, with incredible thrill for me to work with the members of the Rolling Stones like that, but it was all R&B. And I had such a good time. My manager said, "You really enjoyed that, didn't you?" I said, "Well, it was fantastic. So why don't you make an album of it? You're already in the studio." So what we do, the band, we kind of like do a song in the morning, effectively. And that's why it's kind of fun. We just kind of rolled through them, and the album was finished before we could blink. It was very quick.
Yeah. As a solo singer, you wanted to make music with a rougher edge. Is that right?
Sorry?
You want to make music with a rougher edge, so you did some gigs with Ronnie Wood.
Well, it just happened that way, because the thing is with when we first started Simply Red, I mean, it's funny, we recorded in Holland, here in Hilversum, was the first recording session. We had 4 songs here. So this place will always be special to me because of that, And it was really, the producer, Stuart, he kind of smoothed out the edges. The 80s was a time of kind of post Barry White, Marvin Gaye, kind of smoother soul sounds. And initially I was more into like the 50s and 60s, but I wasn't really allowed to have that as a musical influence, And so after 25 years, I've come round to the idea of thinking, well, why don't you do something with a little more grit, a little bit more kind of edge to the music.
Yeah, and you now work with Andy Wright, the producer for this record. Yeah. How important is he? Because he's one of the biggest music producers in the world.
Well, he's a very dear friend, and we've worked together since the first song he and I worked together on was the Simply Red song Fairground in Manchester. And so we started off well. And it's just been a great relationship ever since,
Yeah. Okay, now you're here in our little cozy studio. We invited some of your biggest fans
in
Holland.
It's nice to see everybody here. Very kind, giving me a bit of support here.
Yeah, maybe it's a nice plan to ask them for some good questions.
Oh God, be careful. They might ask you something embarrassing.
Oké. Jolanda Ritsma is hier, William Mantel en Luc Klaassen. En ik heb begrepen dat Jolanda en William een vraag gaan stellen. Nou, jij maar eerst, Jolanda. Even kijken, waar kom je vandaan?
Ik kom uit Groningen. Okay. I'm from Groningen.
She's from the north of our country.
Okay.
You have been there in the 80s.
Where is it?
In Groningen.
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 Oh, I can't say it as well as you. Can I try? Groningen. Groningen.
That was the first time I saw you.
Yeah.
In the 80s. The concert.
Yeah.
And after then, another 7 times. So.
You've been to more shows than I have. By the sound of it.
And I have a question for you.
Yeah.
My name is Yolanda. And on the album, the tribute to yes, I want to ask you, for who was that song?
Well, I didn't compose the song. It's a collection of songs recorded by Bobby Blue Bland. So it was a song that he had, and you know, purely by coincidence. But don't worry, she's a Scarlet Woman. I'm sure you're not.
Okay, thank you.
Dat is de vraag van Jolanda Ritsma. En William Mantel, waar kom jij vandaan?
Ik kom uit Oude Sluis, in de kop van Noord-Holland.
He's from the Old Sluis. It's a little village.
Old Sluis.
The Old Sluis.
Only 650 people living over there. So.
Je kan je vraag stellen aan
my question. You started before Simply Red with the Frantic Elevators. It was punky style.
Yeah.
And no success. But is it imaginable that you will return to that kind of music? Or?
Well, you know, the thing was, what I discovered quite early on is that I had a melodic voice. So, you know, doing kind of Johnny Rotten impersonations, it wasn't getting me anywhere. You know, it's sort of like, you know, you could do that all day, but it doesn't really kind of hold any melody. In fact, the second song I wrote was Holding Back the Ears. So it told me, you can sing in that melodic kind of way. And that's really how I embarked on it. And I don't see myself going back to doing Johnny Rotten impersonations, actually.
Better that way.
Okay.
Thanks.
Nou, dankjewel voor je vraag. Okay, now we take a little time and then 2 more songs, please. Is that possible?
Should I do that right now?
Yeah, no, yeah, it's okay. It's okay if you want.
Yeah.
Oké, nou dan gaan we meteen kijken naar...
Very casual and relaxed. Hello everybody in Holland. Hope you're enjoying
Mick Hucknall is hier in de studio en hij gaat nog 2 liedjes voor ons doen uit zijn album American Soul. Misunderstood en Turn Back the Hands of Time. Geef jullie nog even een applausje.
Which one do you want us to do?
Ja.
Which one do you want us to do?
Misunderstood?
Okay,
maybe?
cool. Yeah, good. Thank you. I missed that first chorus then, didn't I, viewers? I think I was supposed to sing that one. I thought the boys were going to sing it. Should I come back there now?
Oh, maybe one more song, if possible. Ja, dat zou wel mooi zijn als hij nog eentje ging doen. The single of the record,
Turn
American
Back
Soul.
the Hands of Time.
Ja.
Okay. 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Good job.
Applaus!
Well done, lads.
Voor Mr. Mick Hucknall en op gitaar Kenji Suzuki en op de keyboards Mr. David Clayton, ladies and gentlemen. So, now next year you will be back in Holland next year for a great show in Amsterdam, I heard. So
yeah, I think we're doing a show in March, aren't we?
on the 5th.
March the 5th or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for being with us this morning.
My pleasure, I enjoyed it.
And we're looking forward to your show in Amsterdam.
Great, thank you very much. Yeah.
Mick Hucknall vandaag bij.
Thank you.